Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing tonight? Welcome. How is everybody? You guys good? I like it. Awesome. All right. Well, I like hearing the word awesome. All right, so we're going to get started. We're actually just waiting for one of our fellow angels, Mr. Angelo. So I'm not sure if he's in the room yet, but we'll keep at it, and hopefully he jumps in. If not, then I might be the third helper. So, okay, so welcome everybody to PitchItTO. This is our 36th show in the last 2.5 years, so we're pretty excited. As always, we have a great tight little agenda for everybody. We're going to have Kickoff. First pitch is going to be at 6:15, which is right now, so I'm going to have to hustle out this next few minutes of chatting. But anyways, we'll go through all that stuff as we're talking. So, if you guys can, we always like the love. So if you guys can add us, like us, Instagram us, YouTube us. We did create a new YouTube series, so you can check that out, which is just helpful hints for startups. You can follow us on YouTube. We've got lots of good things. You can find us on LinkedIn, where we share a lot of that first. And, of course, through all the other means, which is Instagram and everything else. So if you guys can help us out, that would be great. We love the attention. Well, of course. So, what we like to do to get you guys all riled up, being this, some of you have probably been here for the first time. Some of you have been here for, it could have been maybe 2 or 3 times, and some of you have been here for a lot more. One of the things that we like to do to kind of get everybody a little bit more riled up and excited for what we're doing here, because this is a community about helping startups, is you started off by a few years ago. I'm a big fan of the high five. Does everybody know what the high five is? Yeah, of course you do. So I went into a meeting. This was probably 10, 15 years ago. And as I went into the meeting, I was pretty excited to be there. So I walked in and I gave everybody a high five. And somebody looked at me and said, "That's not very professional." And she probably was right. I'm not trying to pin who it was. But anyways, so someone did say that. And I agreed, and I gave her a high five, and that was it. So after that, we actually became friends, and all is history. So you guys could turn to the right, turn to the left, high five the person beside you, because you know what? We all came out tonight to have some fun, and it's a good way to meet people, and high fives rock. And at the end of the day, when you're done a high five, it all feels good. Everybody's got a smile. You're like, "Yeah, man, I went a little harder on that high five, but it was worth it." And if anybody's got a sore hand, maybe that person should stop working out. All right, so some of the great companies that have pitched with us over the years. We've had lots. Over, I think, probably close to 140 companies have been pitching with us to date. We've worked with probably thousands, but these are the companies that have made it through to help us get in front of you guys. And we're pretty excited about them. And hopefully one day you guys will want to be part of that list too. So by the minute, we have lots of great things coming up. On next week, actually, is the Nako Summit, where we have lots of startups going into Nako. If you guys do have an interest to go in and see that, it is the largest angel summit that takes place this year in Toronto. Last year was in Montreal. I think the year before that it was in Vancouver, and so on and so on. So it's a great event. Lots of action happening there, and lots of companies find investors through that. So one day you guys will hopefully shoot to be pitching at that event. On October 3rd, we have Social Media Day. And then in the month of October, we have a couple of great pitch events, which will be Pitch at York. And then we have the Up series that we sponsor and are part of, which is part of Franco Dino, who's one of the partners in OPN. And we just did one the other day, and I'm going to talk about that shortly because it was pretty awesome. November 7th, we're doing another angel investment. This is actually called First Look. It is a first look. We ran one a few months back in Oshawa, and we'll be running another one in Lake Ridge for all health companies. So if you guys have an interest, you're part of that ecosystem, let us know, because there might be an opportunity to see if we can get those companies in to get in front of a lot of great prospecting companies or angel investors. And then we have, I think the December one's going to change. So that's it by us. We've got some other exciting news that'll take place in the next few months as well, and we'll share that as we go forward. Of course, we wouldn't be here today if we didn't have the great sponsors. Instead of going through each one of them one by one, you guys can see the list. But I think at the end of the day, we want to thank all the sponsors for their help, being here from Burskin and Parr, Miller Thompson, which is Alfred, and Alfred is sitting in the back somewhere, I seen him, and Flow Water, which you guys are drinking. They've been helping us since day one. Blockchain Fortress, Clear Vision, Startup Toronto, Symbol at the bar, and the Lodge, of course, for the space, and my software company, which is called Hardboot Communications. And you can find Laura. Where's Laura? So, either way, thank you very much, guys, for all the partnerships and helping us out. Let's give them a hand. A little bit about the team that helps support all of this and run what we do. Two guys that became partners about a year and jumped in to help out with what we were doing at OPN and have been supporters of it since day one, and that's Frank and Angelo. These two guys were both Angel of the Year investors in 2016 and 2017. So they're awesome to be part of, the OPN team. And of course, that segues into the people that help drive all this out. So Katerina, Brian, and Laura, thank you guys for all your help. And they're around. You guys have probably met them. And if you haven't, look for them, give them a hug. These guys like hugs. So thank you guys for all your help. And yeah. Woo! We're coming close to finalizing up our accelerator. We're taking 3 companies on this year. So if you guys have an interest, you can send an email to info@opn.ninja, and we're excited to bring you guys on board. So look forward to seeing some emails. Giveaways, we have a great powered by Camp Tech. So if you guys put your business card in, we will make a draw later in the day, and you guys will have access to that. So it's a pretty cool, fun little setup that they're doing, and we will learn more about that as soon as you win. So we always have a theme, or we've started to have a lot of themes when we start off our pitch events, because we find that with a theme, it gets you guys a little more interested and excited for what that is. And the other day, we did our Up series, and I'm not sure if you guys have met Kevin Folk, but Kevin's not here today, unfortunately, but I should have actually hustled him out here to come out so that he could actually partake in the real hustle. But really, at the end of the day, what the whole premise behind putting him in here is that he brought up a very valid point when he started his company in 2013. He did a lot of great things to start trying and build his company. He failed a few times, he admits that, but one of the things that he delivered when he was building his company is that he's an alcohol-based company, and he was starting in Toronto, and it didn't work out so well with the product and LCBO and all that great stuff. So he went to Alberta. Alberta had a little bit open more regulations so they could break their way in. And what he did is he called every single carrier of alcohol in Alberta, one by one. I think that was 1,500 locations until he cracked one of them, 2 of them, and so on. And what do you call that? Is the real hustle. And that's what he did because he believed that his business was going to work and that people wanted his product. And you can't quote me on this, but I believe they have I think it's in the entirety of their business, they went from selling a couple of cases to now, I think it's been 10 million cans have been drank of their product. So to me, that is a real hustle, and those guys show how to do it, and that is by making sure you get the win, and you don't get that from sitting around hoping someone else does it for you. So hopefully you guys all got a little bit out of that. You got my hair's popping on my skin, that's crazy. I don't even have any. So that was amazing. But either way, Socialite, Kevin Folk, check them out. I'm a big fan. They're doing a lot of great things, and you'll see them in every LCBO because they're going national. So that's a great hustle story. So why we're here tonight, pitch format. Actually, question, how many of you been here before? I like it. Hopefully all you guys keep coming back. How many of you guys are entrepreneurs? How many of you want to be entrepreneurs? All right, there's still 5 of you guys. Still about 80% said they were entrepreneurs. You got about 5 of that, maybe 3% want to be. So the rest of you guys are still questioning it. Well, hopefully by the end of tonight, you're going to say you want to be. So we should have 100% hands up. All right, so the format is we have 9 to 11-minute pitch. Reason it's changing from the 11 is because we're trying to shift that down to a 9 minutes so you can get the best material in 9 minutes. And then from there, you have 1 minute from each advisor. We say thank you at the end of that. So there is no dialogue between the angel investor and, of course, the startup. That just allows us to move a little quicker. And then we go to Q&A. And there'll be 5 minutes of Q&A from the crowd. So you guys will be able to prepare your questions. And please ask questions. One, it gives you the stage, and two, it helps the startup get better. They need these questions from the real people that are going to buy their product. So think about the questions you can ask. So tonight's advisors, Alfred from Miller Thompson. Alfred's awesome, great man. You guys got to stop, say hi, shake a hand. The reason Alfred has been such a big supporter, and we're a big fan of him, is that he has jumped in since earlier on when we started OPN and was a fan of what we're doing on how we're helping startups. And we're honored to have Alfred join us and help us out, as he has many times before. So thank you, Alfred. Angelo Del Duca, if Angelo's here yet, he's probably still in traffic. That's okay, I'll substitute in for him, so look out. And then Sherwin, York Angel, investor, entrepreneur, has done a lot of great things. He's working on his next business, but at the same time, he's looking to invest and help you guys out. So feel free to reach out to him as well and have that conversation, because when you guys are looking for money, these are the people you want to talk to, because they know what's going on. So thank you guys for joining us. Who's pitching tonight? We have Supply Expert, Rewards to Pay, CoinWise, and New2. And the first company that's going to be pitching Supply Expert. Woohoo, give him a hand, come on, man. This takes a lot of effort to get up here. Me opening a PowerPoint's not very good. Laura, needs your PowerPoint assistance.
In the Mac, you need to open the PDF, and in the view, put in the full screen.
Yeah, it's just because I had to activate this. I already have it.
Sorry guys, just bear with us for a second. New laptop fix.
Yeah, you don't need the Office.
Okay.
Only to open the PDF and put in the full screen.
Oh, in no, we don't have PDF.
But the Mac read the files PDF. This is is a PPT.
This is an activated.
This is a PPT or PDF. Okay.
Sorry about that, guys. Here we go.
Point at the computer? Yeah. Hi, my name is Selber Gamboa, and I am the founder of Supply Expert. With 10 years of experience in the field, I was able to see that it was not a marketplace where I could go check and buy materials for the work that I need to do as an electrician. And today I'm here seeking for $300,000 at a convertible note. Basically, contractors, they buy materials from distributors, and they do it in 3 ways. One is by email, second one is by phone, and the third one is by driving to that warehouse. The email one basically is to request quotes from multiple from vendors to get the pricing for future projects. This could take days or even weeks. For phone, basically is just to go and check the availability of material so they can drive, get the material, and then go back to the job site. And driving to the warehouse, which is the most common situation, is basically because the distributor have a location nearby to get the materials to the job site. But usually they don't have the material in stock. So what Supply Expert will bring to the marketplace to fix this problem? Next one. So basically we're creating a multi-vendor platform where contractors can check for pricing and check for availability of materials that they need at work. They can request quotes from multiple vendors with one click, and they can get the fast delivery and fast, quick pickups from the materials that they buy on the platform on the locations on the distributor warehouses. The marketplace basically is $18 billion right now, with an annual growth of 1.5% year by year for the past 5 years. We are making money by taking 5% commission from every sale, and basically, it's how we're doing it right now. Just a little bit about our story. I am an electrician by trade, 10 years of experience, as I said. I came to the point that I was at work and I was getting into technology, using marketplaces, using apps for everything that I used to do outside work. And then for some reason I was at work frustrating, trying to get materials that I need to work and get the people that I was working with keep going on the job site. And then I said, you know, why I can check prices for these, why I can check prices for vacations, why I can check prices for these, but I cannot see the prices for electrical wire, for plumbing pipes, or for any other thing that we need at the job site. And then that's when idea came up. So we had the idea conception in 2017. We started working, doing some marketing research. And we started working on the first MVP. Then we start hitting the roads and checking future partners and presenting ourselves to distributors. And then we realized that we have to make some changes. So we start working on the second MVP. Now basically we are just getting the products from the distributors and start getting ready for sales. So how it works, like any other marketplace, you just go online, check supplyexpert.ca, check the material or materials that you need, put them on the shopping cart, choose the option that you want for delivery or pickup, pay for it, and that's it. Competition-wise, so basically there is, I would say, 3 direct competitors: Toolbox, Rent-A-Run, and BuildDirect. We are a multi-vendor platform. We don't compete against our vendors, so we don't get products directly from manufacturers. We just let them sell whatever they have in their warehouse. We provide financing with a third party to the contractors to buy the materials. They can request quotes for the materials they need. They can get fast deliveries and quick pickups in the website. Now, I didn't mention here Home Depot, Lowe's, or even Rona. Why I say this is because we are not our platform is focused on the best pricing. And by explaining a little bit of this is, I give you an example. Home Depot have a price match event sometimes, but they will price match only prices from Lowe's or Rona. They won't prices from distributors because they have way lower prices. And I'm talking an average of 20 to 30%, right? So our team, myself, Elber Gamboa, master electrician, 10 years of experience in the field. Michael Bonita-Tibus, 13 years of experience in marketing and sales in electrical distribution. And we have Jeffery Potvin as a business advisor from OPN. Sales projections. In the next 12 months, we're expecting to be selling at least $400,000. In the next 24 months, we are expecting to be selling $1 million a year. And in the next 36 months, we are expecting to be selling $9.5 million. And I say this is because by some connections that we are building at this moment. Now the funds we get, 70% will go for marketing and sales, and the other 30% will go for product and team development. And again, this is like the answer that investors would like to hear. How do I get my money? How do I get rewarded for what I put in? And we are planning to have an exit strategy to be acquired by a company like iMark or Lowe's. And we are expecting to do this in a time frame of 5 to 7 years. Again, my name is Elber Gamboa, founder of Supply Expert, seeking for $300,000 at a convertible note. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for being here. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions and to hear the advice from the advisors.
Perfect. Thank you.
Alfred?
You're up.
So I like Platform Switzerland Place, and I endorse you for that. What I'm not clear about are a couple of questions related to the business model. Does the 5% function as a markup to the buyer, or is it come out of the pocket of the vendor? Appreciate clarity on that. And the other thing I'm trying to understand about the model is what your marketing spend is going to do in terms of how you're going to get adoption. I didn't get a sense of how you were differentiated from the competitors you had identified, clearly enough, and what was the thing that was going to make Supply Experts get to that $9 million number in 3 years. But otherwise, it sounds like you've gotten into a space that's big with lots of potential, and presumably if you can find that differentiator and get the story out there in a way that gets adoption rolling, then you've got something good.
Go ahead. Hey, Albert, how are you doing? So my apologies for being late. I was tracking down some electrical wires. And I had difficulty sourcing the right one. That's why I got delayed. But we've been working together. I think the biggest challenge, as we discussed, is how do you transform that mature environment, that marketplace, into a more digital platform. And most importantly, it's not necessarily the transformation, but the speed at which you can transform. Because you want to provide as much options and capabilities to the marketplace that are looking at sourcing the best solution for their need. And we've been chatting on how to do that in the most efficient way. But I think you have an amazing opportunity. But you need to focus on how to accelerate that conversion from that hard paper version into that digital environment.
I guess a couple of concerns. One is, as was mentioned, how you would scale and how you would continue to find customers. What would be your strategy of going through maybe social network influencers? I'm not sure if those are the kind of avenues that you've thought about. And the other one is, I'm not sure also if you get enough traction that there's actually any moats around this business model, that somebody else couldn't go in and do exactly what you do if it became successful. So those were my concerns.
Perfect. All right, thank you very much, guys. Albert, you got, actually, I'm going to swap you. All right, who's got questions in the audience?
Hi. First question, do you have any sales right now, or?
We have some small sales, but we don't have like repetitive customers at this moment.
So how did you come up with the 300,000 projection sales model that we will?
Well, one of our vendors, which is the most engaged one, he's selling $200,000 a year just to direct consumers from his website.
Okay.
And he's not pushing it, he's not doing much about it. We are focusing directly to contractors, and he believes, he's Michael Bonitativos, marketing and sales advisor. So basically, he believes that just going directly to contractors, that amount will double up.
So how many contractors do you have on the website right now? Using your
Right now, we are just, again, how I said, we're getting the products on board,
Okay.
and I'm just visiting contractors to adopt into the system. Right now, we're talking with a medium size, I would say medium size, like 30 to 50 guys, contractor, to start using the platform as a test. So basically, we're talking about like, could be from just one contractor could be buying $500,000 a year.
Perfect, thank you. Next question.
Hi. Do you have what kind of pricing model, or do you have some kind of a pricing engine built in the platform? Who controls the pricing of the products?
The pricing is being controlled by the distributors. So every distributor will place the price that they can afford to get as low as they can. Basically, we have even lower pricing than when anybody walks to the warehouse. Then, because what we're doing is building something that will provide them more traction than just one contractor buying at the time. So when you walk in, for example, to any distributor in the warehouse, you will be getting at least 10% lower than what you, as a regular person, a regular contractor, will get outside the platform.
So what's the difference between going to Lowe's or Rona and going to your site? What's the difference in price?
Well, from Lowe's or Rona, like basically they are marked up because they're big box stores. So you are getting at least 20 to 30% discount right there. Like, I mean, you can get up to 45% discount. It depends the amounts that you're buying on the quote system.
Hi, I have a question. So I wonder, what's your lead time for delivery?
Lead time is next day delivery right now. We're trying to partner up with another startups that they do deliveries on demand, so we can get the materials to the contractors within 2 hours.
Cool, okay, that's it.
The question?
I'm curious who you're working with for trying to get it the same day or same hour delivery, and would you be open to working with another startup?
Yes, like that's basically logistics. It's a different market business, and that's what I didn't explain how they were saying. Renoron and Toolbox, that's what they specialize on. They are delivery on demand for construction materials, but what they do is they buy from Home Depot, Lowe's or Rona, like regular prices, and then they deliver within 2 hours. But what we do is we are focusing on getting the best pricing possible for the contractors.
Okay, so same day or same hour is not a priority for you.
Well, it is, it will be, because contractors actually need it, but that's why we're having the quick pickup option where they go and pick it up. Because for example, like if you're a contractor and you go to the warehouse to get the material, you have to spend at least half an hour there in lineup or waiting for the guy to go and get the material in the back of the warehouse for you to just take it. And then in this case, it's gonna be like ritual that you just get there, pick up your package, and then leave.
Okay, well, can you find me after for the other startup that might be able to help you out? I know somebody who's actually doing a startup like that, yeah.
Brilliant. Well, that was worth it. Anybody else want to connect? All right, so that was good. All right, one more question.
Thanks, JP. My name is Dr. Reyes. So what would prevent your competitor to do same thing as you, right, but in a shorter time? Like, do you have anything up your sleeves that you can pull up that your competitors don't have right now?
When you mean competitors, you mean Renaron or?
You showed me a slide where there are competitors.
Yeah, well, again, their business model is different. I don't know if they will try to copy it. They already bought fleets of trucks, so their investment or investors are into already investing in fleets and hiring people to deliver the materials with trucks. To change the business model, basically they will have to throw that money away, those trucks, and fire those guys and then change the business model. So again, basically what we're doing is trying to build the Airbnb for construction materials in the sense that they already have the warehouses, they already have the materials. We are just providing the platform for them to sell online, which is something that they are not doing right now because they are 5 years behind into adaptation.
Thank you. So what's your assumption on computer literacy on the people who are ordering these materials?
Not much, and again, that's been one of the biggest challenge in our business model, is that the industry is not adapt to digitalization, and business owners, they are old school thinking that this type of business will continue for the next 50 years, which is not, right? So we're trying to help them adapt into the market.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. All right, thanks, Albert. All right. Sultan, are you there? Come on up, buddy. All right, Sultan, I'm going to let you introduce yourself, but let's see you. Show us what you got, buddy.
All right, well, thanks. So, folks, I'll keep this brief. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I really am. In the last 1 year, we've built what's now one of the largest events in Canada. But all of that pitchy stuff, I'll tell you later. Right now, I just want to confess I'm exhausted. I flew in 2 days ago from a First Nations community. We built 20 libraries in 7 countries with my own hands and local volunteers. We have had to deal with the joys of putting yourself out there as an entrepreneur over and over again and feeling naked when people just respond with unkindness or any of that. It is hard being an entrepreneur, and all of you can relate to that. So I am just very happy and honored that I'm in your presence today. I want to keep this from my heart. I always do. I've done 37 keynotes this year, and I take every opportunity to leave a message, and I just have 2 messages today. One is entrepreneurship is hard. It's exhausting. It's putting yourself out there. It's emotionally draining. But I stand in front of you with a smile. I stand in front of you with a smile because I feel completely contented with how I'm spending my time on this planet. And all of you with your businesses should feel the same way. Because we are doing something that very few dare to dream. From the complacency of their offices. Trust me, I had a 17-year career as a tech executive. I was looking after a $900 million business for Microsoft. I've been honored to go to 75 countries. This is not a naive person talking who doesn't understand how the business works. I gave that life up to do what I do now, And my biggest message, my friends, the first one is to surround yourself with an incredibly positive community. Great job, Jeff, at putting this community together. Really, it's a special place. And I think when we do that, that's when we rub off the positive energy off each other, and that propels us to go forward. I invite you to join us. 9 days from now, we are hosting the largest event on entrepreneurship and employment in Canada. Right now, we hit 1,300 registrations. We will finish off at 1,500. It's free, and you can connect and connect with grants from all over Canada under one roof, and role models that are flying in from Singapore, from Panama, from all over the world. So that's really an offer that's out there from a community standpoint, but I promised you an authentic conversation, and I'm going to stick close to that. But do we have the possibility of pulling up library in a week? It's all good. I'll speak to it while that happens. My other business is I build libraries with my own hands all around the world. The idea is that locals build it, and these last forever, and I'm no longer needed after day 7. Why do I do it? And there's a message. This is not about me. This would be a waste of my time and yours if it was about me. This is about you and connecting your business with something you deeply care about. So I'm on a mission to build 100 libraries around the world. We're honored to have the support. We've had all kinds of awards and everything. But there's a story I share at the launch of every library. It's called The Boy in the Library. It's the story of a boy whose family fell on hard times. He had to drop out of school. He could not afford the shoes. He could not afford to go to pay the tuition. So books changed his life. And these are kids when I speak in sessions like this, but they're surrounded by limitations. Sometimes they don't have shoes. And I say to them, every dream of that boy came true. He went to a university, struggled for 3 years, survived on less than $20 a month. And in the middle of just trying to make a few extra dollars, he would cycle an hour and a half. And in the middle of all that was a little bookshop that allowed him to escape his reality. And I tell those kids, when I look in their eyes, I said this at the graduation ceremony of Sheridan College, I look in your eyes today, and I share this, tying my entire message into one. When you are feeling helpless, when you are feeling lonely, when you are feeling that you're continuously putting yourself out there, just believe in yourself, believe in what you are doing, because the boy, I tell these kids, who could not afford a single book, is now the man on a mission to build 100 libraries around the world. So that's my story. And the message I have is whatever it is that you're doing, build it on something that deeply you care about. That is when the hustle becomes real. That is when you will go the extra mile. That is when you will not feel as if the physical exhaustion is taking a toll on you mentally. So you are the change the world needs. I don't believe the bleeding hearts of someone will solve the problem. It is excellent business models that people believe in that are actually going to drive the change. Thank you for listening to me. And with that, I'll return it out.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Sultan. I met Sultan about a month and a half ago, and I thought what he was doing was amazing and thought that would be great to share with you guys. So if you get a chance, check him out, because I think there's some great things that they're doing, and you guys can join in their conference too. I think it's in a couple weeks. So thanks, guys. All right, up is Nutu.
All right, hey everybody, I'm Kostas Trakis, and I'm the founder of Nutu, and where we're trying to make healthy behaviors addictive. My path actually started, actually I should just say we're looking for $200,000 for our development and our marketing costs. My path actually started back when I was in the corporate world. Back then, I was the guy at pharma who got people to pay for our drugs, both governments and insurers. I flew around the whole world, and honestly, it nearly killed me. I gained weight. My blood pressure went up. I couldn't sleep, not because of what I was doing, but all that travel and that lifestyle was just really, really bad. And I knew that I had to do something about it. But it was really hard because, you know what? The reality is exercise isn't fun. It sucks. Nobody wants to get up at the first thing, crack of dawn, hop onto that treadmill for the next 30 minutes. So it always goes to the bottom of our priority list. And that's what happened with me. But as I looked around the world around us, there were a lot of tools that managed to really effectively change our behaviors and really forced us to do things and put our time into things that maybe weren't that great for us. Companies like Facebook, like Instagram, do an exceedingly good job at this. If I looked around the room and said, how many of you actually checked your social streams since you got here, probably every hand would be up by now. So why don't we actually apply these to healthcare? Or if we do, they just aren't being done very well. And that was the genesis for New2. What we're trying to do is to develop a fitness game that helps young men specifically actually achieve their fitness goals and to be able to track them. And at the same time to be entertaining. And that's the critical thing about being able to take something that is at the bottom of your to-do list and putting it at the top. If it's something you're going to do anyways, that's what you're going to prioritize in your life. All right, so how big is this opportunity? Well, it's kind of hard to say because it's actually at the intersection of two different categories. The first category is mHealth, or mobile health, digital health, comes under very different names. But that's where all these little apps that are built to try to help you lose weight and all that sort of fall into. The other one is mobile gaming, and mobile gaming is a much bigger category. Both of these, as I said, big categories, but there's not much in the overlap space yet. But we can quantify the number of people that we can target with this kind of a strategy. And the people that we're looking at, young men, or as we like to call them nowadays, millennial males, they make up, at least in the US, about 40 million people. If you just to sort of give you a sense for how big that is, they now there's more of them than there are baby boomer men. So they are the up and coming cohort, especially in the US. But not everyone is going to be appropriate for our solution. You need to have some sort of a wearable, whether it's a smartwatch, whether it's a fitness band. You've got to be a mobile game player or at least be interested. So that takes us down to about 16 million individuals. What's not included in this number, by the way, are all the people that have come up to us showing interest that we didn't initially put in our target population. Parents who said, my kid plays 4 hours a fortnight every night. I would love it if they could do something else, at least for an hour every day, and then go play. People like myself who maybe fall into the Weekend Warrior group, they're a little bit older, but we're still competitive, and the CrossFit women who have come up to us at various meetings and said, wait a second, so this puts me on a level playing field with my boyfriend? I can kick his ass, I can tell you that much. And they're all part that would be sort of secondary outside of the target market, but this is our sweet spot. There's also a real health reason for looking at this as the sweet spot. That, and I look back at my life, that was when I was the healthiest. I had the most energy, I felt great. And that's the case for most people. You start jobs at that point, you get married, you have kids, life catches up with you and you go off the rails. That's the opportunity. It's the tipping point between which direction your health is going to take. Are you going to be able to maintain a healthy life, or are you going to go off the rails? And that's why we want to intervene at this point. Oops. Yeah. There are a couple other business reasons to actually go after this population at this point in their lives. From a gaming standpoint, these guys actually make up the majority of gamers, so it actually lines up very well. The other thing that actually lines up very well is the fact that they actually pay to play. So unlike the vast majority of people who just download a game, goof around with it, and never put a cent into it, these are guys that you can actually build a real sustainable business around. And the last thing that is important with this group is they are already active. So if you're thinking we're going to have a fitness game and people are going to go from sitting on the couch to go to the gym, that's probably not realistic, at least not at the outset. But you can get people who are already active and keep them active or get them to be even more active. And that's really the goal here. So this is actually a realistic goal. Now let's talk a little bit about the product, because everybody loves to talk about their product. And ours is called Kinetic Core. So it's a player versus player fight game. What sort of differentiates us from the typical Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat or any of these fight games is that how well you do in the game is entirely dependent on what you do in the real world, your physical activity in the real world. So this here is actually screenshots from our prototypes, a functional prototype. We're able to take data off of Fitbit right now and use that to power the avatar. The middle panel shows the sort of the fight, the endpoint. So after you've downloaded the product, you've been able to import your data. You've challenged a friend and said, okay, you got 24 hours. Let's see who can kick each other's ass. You go out, you're as active as you possibly can be. So, for example, you can go to the gym. You can bike to work. You can take the stairs instead of the elevator. All of that rolls up in the ability to actually power your character. The important thing is, at the end of the day, it's that connection with the other person. and it's that challenge, that competition that keeps you going. We've actually gone through, done a ton of work to actually look at our market, make sure that it's what they're looking for. We've built our prototype. We've done the dog and pony show at tech shows as well as fitness shows. And we're doing a closed beta right now to make sure that that the core mechanic makes sense. We're targeting by April of next year to actually have the full product ready for launch. Now, you're asking probably, Costas, how do we make money off of this? Well, the dominant gaming sort of business model is free to download with in-app purchases. And for anybody who doesn't play games, in-app purchases are things like, hey, my character is great, I'd like him to be blue. Great. I'll sell you a skin for $2.99 that'll actually make him blue. Lots of other things that fall into this category, but I think you get the gist of it. They can range anywhere from 99 cents to, in some cases, up to $80 or $100, depending on the scarcity of that product within the game environment. So that's the kind of thing that is actually the primary revenue source for most games these days. Things like ads, which we would love to add once we have scale on our platform, actually don't account for more than 20, maybe 25% for the most successful platforms. Now, the people who do pay on average about $87 per year, just to, again, to give you a sense for the numbers. So from a competition standpoint, there's a lot of good products out there, but they're just not aimed at the group that we're targeting. If you're thinking of some niche products that are going after performance, so guys who are looking to shave seconds and are looking at their heart rate and how much watts they're pumping out during a practice, that's a very small group of people. It cuts across age groups, so it's not actually targeting one age group. The dominant product out there in fitness is Fitbit, their native app, and that actually is for 45-year-old women. And the reason for that is that more Fitbits have been given out by corporate America to women of that age, and so Fitbit actually designs that product and makes it engaging for that particular population. It makes perfect sense, but doesn't do anything for the young men that we're trying to satisfy, and that's where success comes in. From a revenue standpoint, we kind of took a look at the market and looked at sort of where in maturity, so companies that have been around for like 10 years, they're in the sort of $10 to $15 million range. Some of the more recent companies that have tried some gaming approaches, think people like Carrot Rewards in Canada, Zwift out of California, they're in approximately the $2 to $5 million range after about 3 years. And our numbers sort of put us right in that range as well. How do we do that? Two different things. The first is to actually get the basics right. So have a social presence, go through influencers, make sure the word of mouth, that buzz is out there. That's minimum for games. We think what can differentiate us potentially is getting that partner that has the need to engage the same group that we're talking about. And we've looked at a couple of different folks within that space, and we've already started talking to a number of people that are listed up there, both from pharma as well as from the military specifically. Great team to build our prototype, especially the design guys who were able to create something that was unique, and we've had some great feedback again from our demos and from the beta test. What we're looking to do with the $200,000, it's mostly going into development. Things like adding other wearables. So right now it's Fitbit only. We know from our feedback we need to have at least 3 or 4 others. That gives us 80–90% of the global market, and we're good. The addition of monetization, so all those skins and various other things that we can sell to them, putting in the program in place that we can do that. Assets. Games are asset heavy. People really like novelty, and that's something that just needs to be built up front that you can sort of dole out over time. And last is refining the user experience. So one of the key things that we sort of had as feedback was it's nice to see the animation of winning or beating your friend, but it would be nice if we could actually play that game. We've built the back end so that you can actually do that already, but now we need to add the front end to be able to make that happen. So that's So that's Newto. Be happy to show you a demo if you guys are interested afterwards. Thanks for your time.
All right, you want to start? Regarding the product itself, I think it's very creative. I actually really like the idea. Regarding the product itself, I know it's at the intersection of actual gaming and fitness. So my challenge to you would be think about how to create products for the ultra fit people, want to do a little bit of gaming, and then the too much gaming people who we gotta get off their ass kind of thing, right? So those are the interesting things to me. How to make that make different products that satisfy a lot larger group.
I agree. I'm intrigued with the gamification of fitness. So that's an interesting premise that you've identified. One thing I would like to see, or would have liked to have seen in your presentation that you might want to consider, is in your competitive landscape, identify specifically who are in that gamification of fitness activity, how successful they are, and what would make you significantly better than any of those things. I didn't get a clear picture on that. Also on you identified what you need in terms of money and what you would do with that money, but you didn't tell me how much I'm going to get from an investor, and what is the value of your company, what percentage would I get in return for that injection of funds. So in those areas, the one last thing, you looked at building the game itself. I would actually think, can you somehow connect with existing game developers that are out there and have a mechanism to stitch that fitness into that gaming environment so that you've already got that critical mass of individuals that you can scale as quickly as possible.
Being a competitive SOB, I actually love the idea of the nexus between my fitness and the inspiration of my fitness and some sort of win in a gamified atmosphere. But I'm having trouble understanding how as Angelo, no, was that noise me or you? No, it's the noise that did. Was that your heart? Okay, he needs your game. No, okay. I have the same, I'm trying to figure out how I get rich if I invest in you. I'm trying to figure out, where's the revenue model? How are we going to actually build some shareholder value here? Where are we going to harvest it? How are we going to harvest it? And it would be great if you could kind of contextualize this, as I think was mentioned earlier, in terms of what's already happening in the space as the gamification space evolves. But I just want to know how I get my money back, not just how I get my health better.
Perfect. All right, guys, thank you. Give me that. All right, who's got questions? Oh, sorry.
Hi. That's a great idea, by the way. But I'm just wondering, about your target market, because when you say that your only integration now is with Fitbit, and you mentioned that pretty much the market for 45 years old woman above, and you put an example about kids, right? How would you actually tackle into that market when your only partnership now is with a company that, according to you, pretty much the market is for older women?
No, it's a great question. So, just one of the things that we do want to do with the cash infusion is actually go back and add integration to all the other. Well, when I say all the other, it's Apple Watch, the Samsung bands, Garmin, and the Xiaomi, which basically worldwide get you 80% coverage. That opens up smartwatches, which is what the younger folks would be the primary adopters of. Things like Garmin and Fitbit are also selling kid-oriented products, so that's how you also then bring in the more adolescent population.
Okay. Oh.
So in your chart, you compared yourself to Carrot Rewards, and you said your numbers kind of put you in the same range, but you're in a closed beta right now, so what numbers are you referencing?
No, so those are our projections, right? So 3 years out, where we think we would be based on historical growth, looking at comparators, that's the numbers that we are using. It's not based on our beta right now. No. Yeah.
I'm still confused. How do you play that game? Like, I still didn't get the idea of how I
Okay.
play.
So let's say you and I are friends on the platform. Basically, I send you a challenge, right? You accept. We've got 24 hours. Go out and be active. So you do what you do. I do what I do. So for me, it could be going to the office, and then at the end of the day, I go to the gym and I put in an hour. You could just bike to work, you walk around all day, you take your dog out for a walk, whatever. It's a different kind of activity. At the end of the 24-hour period, you get a notification sent to you that says, okay, match is done, have a look and let's see who the winner is. Right now, you're like with our prototype, you're just seeing an animation. So our AI fights both sides and actually shows you who the winner is. As we said, the upgrade version, the launch version, actually has the ability with finger controls for you to control your character and fight like any other arcade game.
Very basic version of this already exists for Apple Watch, like built into Apple Watch. I can challenge anyone who has an Apple Watch and say, I'm going to do this much steps.
Yeah, yep. Fitbit's the same. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just an enhanced version.
Sorry, I can't.
Is this an enhanced version of the same thing, or?
Yeah, I mean, Fitbit allows you to do it right now. If I look at within the community, how many people are doing sort of a Fitbit walking challenge, it's not the target population we're looking at. So there are different ways to slice it. We're not interested in people who are happy to just challenge each other to the number of steps. That's great. But if you want to do something a little bit more, something that is also entertainment oriented, right? That's the key piece. If you want to do something that is going to lift you from, getting up in the morning, putting in your time, putting in the effort, it's got to be more than just, you know what, I've challenged my friends today to, like a walking challenge. It's got to be more engaging than that. That's our hypothesis, and that's why we think it's unique.
Okay, perfect. One more question? Sorry.
Can I ask two? Sure. Two quick ones. It's the first one. Is this, just I want to understand where your, I will say, April go live is geographically. Is this Canadian launch or North American launch or worldwide launch? First question. And then the second one, did you ever consider, I will say, multiple engagements at once, almost more like a cage brawl, where you've got 5 or 6 people in there and winner takes all?
That's an interesting approach. We haven't really done the cage brawl concept yet, though. You can challenge multiple people for one day, right? So you can actually get a number of people in there. Some of the things we haven't put up there that is successful on other platforms that we need to include are things like team play. So it may not be all a brawl at one time, but you actually have team stats actually involved there. For your first question, right now we're only looking at Canada and the US. But we know that there are markets overseas that this would be absolutely heavily oriented to and would work very well. But we just have to go with a stepped approach for launches.
Okay, perfect. All right, man. Thank you very much. All right, so because we like to be informative, we have Dan from the OCE is going to come up and give us a quick pitch on how he can help you guys find funding. Here he comes now. Let's hear it for Dan. Dan, thank you, man.
Thank you, Jeff. Good to see you again. Who here uses Waze? Very few. Do not trust the nearest parking lot option on Waze. I just walked 20 minutes from the nearest parking lot. I'm Dan Ruby. Who here has heard of OCE? A few. Okay, so to go quick, OCE is the Ontario Centres of Excellence. We were started by the province about 30 years ago. We were created, essentially, think of us this way, we were created to create Silicon Valley of the North. And it was just announced recently that Toronto is the leader now in tech. So I think, OCE's given themselves a pat on the back for that. We've done a good job, as have many others in the innovation ecosystem, but we were started 30 years ago to do that. We are a not-for-profit, we're an arm's length government organization. We're a funding organization, and essentially we are the province's arm to generate innovation in Ontario. We fund at a macro level and we fund at a micro level. Is that me? Whoever's doing that, stop. At a macro level, we fund innovation centers in Ontario. We fund campus-linked accelerators. So a lot of you might have been working with many innovation centers in Ontario, campus-linked accelerators. Some of their funding comes through OCE. At a micro level, we fund companies directly, and we basically do 4 things. We do research and development funding. We do investment, so we will co-invest with angel investor groups. We do startup grants, and we do demonstration funding. So I'll talk a little bit about each of the 4. On the research and development side, if your company has research to do on its business service offerings, or if it has development that it needs to do on technology, we can help you fund that R&D. And the way we do that is we connect you to a university or a college. The university or the college works with you on the R&D. And the funding for that goes to the university or the college, not to you, but you get the results of the work. In that bucket, we also have money for helping you hire interns. So you can bring on university and college students as well as graduates to work with you in your company to do that R&D in-house. So that's another way of going about it. On the investment side of things, we will co-invest with angel investor groups at a $125,000 level or a $250,000 level. In order to get our investment, you have to get an investment from an independent angel investor group or from an arm's length investor. And we will come in and we will match those terms. So it's a great way to kind of double what you might be able to get otherwise. On the startup side, we offer $30,000 and $60,000 grants. And those are grants to you to help you start your business. You have to be 3 years in business or less to access that funding. That funding is currently not available, but word on the street is we're weeks away from this being relaunched, not months away. So there is opportunities for $30,000 and $60,000 grants. It's called Smart Start. The last thing that we do is demonstration funding. Our demonstration funding is basically for companies that have an MVP. You have a product that's ready to go to market. What you don't have is a significant customer. You might even have a few small, like mom and pop type customers, but you don't have that one customer that you can go to and say, hey, look, they used our technology. They were happy, you should too. So we offer demonstration funding to help you bring your product into the market. We do it in very specific target areas. We do about 7, but currently only 3 of those 7 areas are active. So we currently have demonstration funding in autonomous vehicles. So if you have technology that is somehow relevant to the autonomous vehicle industry, you can get demonstration funding from us at two levels. There's a $100,000 level, and there's a $1 million level. You can also get demonstration funding in artificial intelligence. So if you have a technology that is somehow AI enabled, using machine learning, cognitive computing, data analytics, and you have a customer that is looking to try your technology on for size, we have demonstration funding in AI up to $50,000. And then lastly, we are looking to help IoT companies, sensor-related companies. If you have a technology that involves sensor, Internet of Things, we have a demonstration fund, again, $50,000 to demonstrate your IoT technology at a potential customer location. So that's a broad sweeping overview of what OCE does and how we can help. At the back of the room is my colleague, Kate Withers. Kate, if you just want to give a wave. Kate and I do the same job. We go out and we talk to companies and we help you access our funding, which is in effect government funding. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you very much. Everybody look for those 2 people because that's huge. Everybody needs money and these guys have it. I'm allowed to say that, right, Dan? Yes. All right, up next, CoinWise.
Brazilians do lots of noise, yeah? Oh, thank you.
When you're clicking,
yeah.
Just hit this button right there, but point it at that screen.
Okay. Sorry about the phones. They are a little bit different than the originals one. I think that's Mac and, you know. It's a great pleasure to be here and talk about CoinWise. My name is Juliana. I came all the way from Brazil with some Brazilian fellows, as you could see. I'm a PhD in computer science, and I've been in the fintech industry in Brazil for the last 15 years. When I started to understand and to study about blockchains and cryptocurrencies, was pretty much easy for me to understand the potential of this technology to disrupt the current financial ecosystem and the current way that we do payments, basically. I had a company on the payments industry in Brazil that was acquired by the third largest bank in 2005. So I'm pretty much engaged with this environment there. But the things that made us really build up CoinWise 1 year ago, me and my partner, was three main things. Trust and security. Blockchain is all about trust and security. The other thing is transparency. And the last one, but the most important probably, is the economic empowerment and financial inclusion. The heart of our platform is a payment solution, what we call PayWise, and I will start from there. Wow. How can I go back? Okay. So what PayWise does is basically allow merchants, brick and mortar stores, e-commerces, big business, small business, to accept crypto coins as a means of payments. We go a little bit further because actually we connect buyers and sellers in order to create a marketplace. PayWise is pretty much easy to use, but it still is a very complex in terms of infrastructure because we are able to put any coins and many coins as much as we wish. The merchants can choose between receiving crypto or in dollars or Brazilian reais or whatever. And we also protect the merchants from the price volatility, the price variation, which is a problem on talking about cryptocurrency. But that's not the whole story. When we started to work with cryptos and blockchains, we realized how difficult it is for people to get into this space. It's so many different concepts. Everything it seems so difficult to understand. Is a distributed, decentralized environment, a currency that is not from government, it's global, it's over the internet. So we really understood that we had to work on the adoption. So besides the payments, we built up a whole bunch of other solutions in order to bring people into this ecosystem. So CoinWise is all about making cryptos and blockchains real for individuals and companies. We developed what we called a WISE platform, where we are able to work in 4 verticals. The first one is what we call Wisdom. It's basically about online courses, education. We saw that in the internet as well, yeah. Well, some people here is too young for that, but I was when the internet started. And everything was so weird. And at that moment, some people was saying, why I do need internet? I have fax. So we have to work on the education here as well. Inclusion, how I can put people inside this ecosystem without all the friction. So we have things like this, which is a gift card topped up with crypto coins. Who doesn't have cryptos here? Any kind of crypto? Okay, so we just, you are a crypto user right now. You just have to scratch it and then you put your coins on your wallet. We have secured devices because security is very important in terms of having your crypto safe. And the experience is the whole bunch of things that we do so people and company can really use this in their everyday life. I will talk a little bit about CoinWise donation because I'm very proud of that. We just launched it last month. We put our payment system for NGOs and social projects so they can raise money everywhere worldwide with crypto. So we do this, and it's pretty much good. Let's talk a little bit about the market. Money is changing. I think that everybody here can feel that. The new generations, the millennials, everybody talked about the millennials here, they don't even want to be banked. They don't want banks, they don't want credit, which is weird for us. But there are three main trends when we talk about payments. The first one is mobile payments. So all the payments are going to mobile or wearables or devices. We don't want the credit cards anymore, the plastic thing. Increasing on frauds and leaks. We can see that every day. And it was not a problem when I had my first company, wow, 20 years ago, I'm getting old. But now it is. And the new generation behavior, it's really changing. And this is a sweet spot for cryptocurrency. Sorry about the phones, they are so ugly there, but that's okay. That's a very sweet spot for cryptos. But how big this market can be? The sincere answer is we still don't know, but we have some clues. If we take only the online transactions for payment, like credit and debit cards, this is a $26 trillion business, and it's still growing. It's still about 30 to 40% of the world's population doesn't have even a credit card. So it's still growing, it's still a growing market. But if we take the first mover on this space of payment, which is BitPay, it already managed to have $1.3 billion last year on transactions on merchants and e-commerces. So we have some clue. And even the World Economic Forum said that this will be 10% of global GDP by 2027 on blockchains. A little bit about the competition. We have some competitors on this space. The main one is BitPay, which is the largest one. And we have a whole new generation of crypto companies coming in, like Coin Payments, ourselves, and PoonDX. Here, all of us, we have almost the same business model. We charge a percentage over the transactions values, the volume. And pretty much the same. We charge everybody like 1%. What makes one company different from the other is the ability of having multiple coins and how many segments on the industry you target. So we have like Bills, it's just a Canadian company, what is very niche specific. They do bills, payments in crypto. And we have BitPay, which is the biggest one that accepts only two cryptos. And we have Coin Payment that accepts lots of cryptos, but only on e-commerce, and they only pay in crypto. So we have a bunch of different experiences. Our platform is more open on this aspect. But the most important thing to say here is that we are not only direct competitors because we go a little bit further. We are very engaged on the adoption side of the technology, and we are working with buyers and sellers. We wanted to create a marketplace from that. Who I ask? We have a proven track record, me and my partner. We've been on these startup things in the past, so we have some experience on that. I came from the fintech industry, as I told you. But now I'm all engaged on CoinWise. I have to go a little bit faster, a little bit about us. We have 10 people on our company right now. We believe that the best momentum to create a new generation of crypto companies, we already learned a lot from the previous ones. So I think that also we have the regulation taking place, which is a very good moment. Eventually, incumbents will jump in this space as well. How do we make money? Basically, we have two revenue streams. One is more for the short term, let's say, because payments is what will really grow exponentially, but it takes time, and it takes money for that. So we have the short-term revenue, which are the online courses and hard wallets and things that is more easy to sell. So we have a better curve of revenues. It's already working in Brazil. We have up to almost 300 merchants already. And we have almost 20 people with the cards that I just gave Jack. This is our roadmap. I will not go this in deep because I have some slides to go, and we just have 30 seconds. Our financials. The founders, we already put $1 million on this business, so it's founded by ourselves up to this moment. And go to market. The main part here is the strategic partners, which is very important to us, especially to go global. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, yes. So thank you very much. We are asking 1.2 million for 15% of the company. And thank you very much.
Awesome, thank you. It was a little rushed, but those things happen. Angelo, you get to start. Yeah, you can take this one.
Take this one? All right. Juliana, good presentation. So let me start at the end and then go back. So you got to, you had me waiting and waiting. How much are you looking for? How much am I going to get? The one thing you might want to consider, we investors usually don't like to take 50% of a company. We want to make sure that there is enough incentive for all of the co-founders to be motivated to accelerate growth, and the best way of doing that is to provide a better cut of the pie. So consider that. In terms of the presentation itself, you have a lot of the elements that I really like in terms of what I look for in investment opportunities are the strength of the team. And you demonstrated not only the understanding of the marketplace, but also your background, and most importantly, you've done it before in growing a company and exiting. On the business model itself, with the competition landscape that you've described, and you clearly identified the differentiation in terms of the knowledge aspect of it and teaching that community, which is great. But I'm just wondering, on the merchant side of things, how do you get them more adopted into that environment? So I would like to have seen a little bit more on that, but I understand that JP is a tyrant and he's very beep, 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 beep. And you've got a fixed length of time. But good job.
So this is an area that I'm fascinated by, and have spent quite a bit of time in, and I actually can't believe that he tried to make you do this in 9 or 11 minutes, because it's just way too complicated, and I'm just flooded with questions. But the bottom line is, if you spend $1 million, I'd want to sit down with you for an hour. I'd buy you dinner, and I'd want to ask a whole bunch of questions about your cost of customer acquisition, the pace of customer acquisition, how you pace product introduction, how you actually really are hedging inter-cryptocurrency risk, because that's tricky, how you are, for example, interacting with the regulated market, and are you actually involved in St. Lucia or Gibraltar or Malta, where they're looking, because you're heading into trouble there with domestic regulators. So I got 1 million questions, but have you got my attention? Yes.
I do believe that it's a great space to be in, the payment space, especially like foreign remittances, the cost of which are just unjustifiable nowadays. And I do believe that cryptocurrencies play a strong role in this, in helping the back end of this payment solution. I think the biggest challenge you'll have is it is a branding play. It's like the awareness on people's mind when they think about remittances, and I'm just not sure who's going to win. I think some of the bigger players might even come into this space and use similar cryptocurrency backends for intercurrency. Solve those challenges, but I think it's a great market, but it's a challenging one as well.
All right, thank you guys. There you go.
Yep.
Okay, who's got questions?
Yep.
Hi. Hello. Hi.
Hi, where are you? Oh, okay.
To echo his sentiment, I think most people would buy you dinner. It was a wonderful, that was a wonderful presentation. Just in terms of the numbers, you mentioned 15% for 1.2 million.
Okay.
What was the justification for that, like roughly about $17 million valuation for the company?
Yes, it's very hard to evaluate, I think, companies on this stage. Yeah, we basically we pick up, for example, BitPay, the rounds of investments that they had previous. We put some discount on that because BitPay is the first mover, so probably the first mover has more advantage on that. Also, we already put money, a good amount of money on that, and is everything up and running. So we basically pick up some similar players on Crunchbase, and we did the math, basically that.
Yeah, I was just curious about one of the things you mentioned, which is you provide currency stability.
Yes.
I have one of those questions of the panelists, of those million questions that you wanted to ask, which is how do you manage the, how do you hedge your intercoin or currency risk?
Yes. We use similar things that the financial market is used to have. It's risk management. But basically, we try to do the exchanging very fast. Because of that, we are integrated with exchanges as well. You can be more picky or less picky on this respect. But basically, is algorithms that takes care of how much are you having on transactions, how much is the price right now, and we have like 2 days to do the settlement because we pay the merchants in 2 days. So we have 2 days to work on that. So at this point, that we don't have that huge flow of transactions. It's a very small business. It's been pretty much easy to do that and actually get some spread from the exchange. But it's a very good point. It's something that we work pretty close with the financial ecosystem, the same way that banks does.
Okay.
Juliana, that's the name of my former queen.
Ah!
It's a very small world because we do commodities out of Brazil.
Oh, really?
And my question is, you're talking about small payments here,
yes,
but a typical cargo ship might be between $12 and $32 million.
Yes.
And how do you manage the payments of large shiploads of commodities? Are you able to do that?
I never did, to be very sincere. Of course, it's possible. On this case, we have to do the settlement right away because the amount of money is big. But then you have to have multiple exchanges because of the liquidity of the market. It's not that big. So it depends on the size of the ticket. We have to figure out how to do that in a moment that you need the money. It's possible, but we have to figure out, depends on the amount.
It's definitely a new field that's being opened up very quickly, especially in Russia.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Last question.
So this is a multi-part question, and you don't have to answer it right now. I worked in the crypto space, and these could be just considerations for your business. So right now in Canada, it's not yet legal, nor is it illegal to just add more coins. And I know that's what a lot of competitors do, but in the space, when I worked in the space, there was over 12 large competitors and many crypto traders that deal either in the black market or not. So there's all of those to compete with, and the margins are very tight. So in order to be competitive, there's that customer service aspect. The other thing that you mentioned is the gift card, which is a really good idea, but I know that a few crypto companies in the space are doing the same thing. The interesting portion is if you could manage to do like a credit card that would be able to trade if you can get Interac on your side.
I was. Oh, okay, you have another one?
Yeah, and the last one would be the capital gains question. Because nobody in the space is doing that right now, and I know that the regulators are starting to crack down on crypto traders and those who aren't paying the capital gains tax. So this is something that you might want to take a look at as well.
Regulation is a very important point. In Brazil, we are pretty much in the same stage as here in Canada. It's not prohibited, but it's not yet regulated. But it's possible to do what we do. Probably the payments is the most easy part to be regulated, as the German just did and Japan did as well. So that's why we like this space, because it's much more easy to deal with. We are not traders. We are not doing money with trading or investment. So it's easy for us in terms of regulation. The gift card, yes, some people have. We can do it like with your face, with your name. We do for events, courses, and everything. But still is a nice tool for putting people right away in this space. I like the credit card idea a lot. Actually, on our solution, you can use this pretty much like a credit card. You can just transfer money from the card to the POS device. Unfortunately, we cannot work with Visa and MasterCard yet. They are going on and off this space all the time. So it's tricky for them because probably the regulation, they are global companies, yes. Lots of things to figure out. Lots of things to do is very challenging, as he said. But we know we are all on that.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. That was great. Thank you. Okay, for our next segment, how many of you guys want to come up and do a 30-second pitch? Who's out here that has a company that they want to talk to? We'll take a couple of you right now. Come on, yeah, 3, come on up. 3, let's go. All right, we're doing 4. You're in. All right. So the way this works, you got 30 seconds, your name, what your business is about, and then I somehow will cut you off at 30 seconds.
Hi everyone, my name is Catherine Chan. I am the founder and CEO of fitin.io, so it's going to be the TripAdvisor for the fitness industry. We have a live beta already with 1,000 fitness classes already preloaded in there, and my ask today is actually for everyone in the room. I'd like everyone to go on to fitin.io and register for an account. We launch October 1st. Thank you.
Awesome, so fast. Done.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Curtis Carter. I have created the world's first public recognition system. I'm breaking into the greeting card market. I am really up against the wall here. I am your unlikely entrepreneur. Please check me out, publicarchives.info. Together, I really believe we can make the change to bring humanity closer together simply by the power of public recognition alone. Google it. There are none out there. Hundreds of companies will be doing employee recognition, but none of them are capitalizing on individual recognition. Curtis Carter, Planet's Choice. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, this is my 3rd time standing this stage. So, hi Jack. Hi guys, my name is Jack. I founded a company called Kiri Innovation. Over the past 16 months, we've developed the world's most affordable, high-precision 3D scanner. We plan to go on a Kickstarter next year, and we do have a working prototype. And that's pretty much it. Check me out after the show. I'll be around.
And your name is?
Jack.
Nice to meet you, Jack. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Paul. Like the gentleman before me, I also want to bring the world together, but I want to do it slightly differently. I'm making an app called Passion Fruit. Essentially, I want to help people meet people through apps, but do it online, but not do it through superficial means. So I want to connect people based purely on what they most mutually have in passion. We're taking out things like profile pictures in this. Basically, a very counterintuitive approach. The website is passionfruit.me. You can check it out. We're hoping to launch by December. And right now I'm still looking to build a team with talented future joiners and also investors. My name is Paul. Thank you.
Pleasure, Paul. Thank you.
Hi, this is Daniel. I'm from the Brazilian delegation. I have Dataholics, my startup. We use open data from web and social media to approve credit for unbanked people. And we are creating a wallet for authentical identities that you can go to the banks or to the insurance company, and then you can have access to this credit. It's a great big market in Brazil. 50% of the people are unbanked or without a bank accounting. And here we have a huge opportunities for defaults market, so we can Daniel from Brazil. Thank you very much.
Daniel, you're a good man. Thank you, sir. All right, so the last pitch we have, Vikas, come on up. So, you guys will, oh, wait, you're gonna do a 30-second pitch? Sorry about that, come on in, one more. Sorry, Vikas, hold that. All right, you're on.
Hello, everyone, my name is Carla. I recently launched my startup, and it's jewelry-based, so we're very focused on fashion. But what's really exciting is that we are creating augmented reality in jewelry so people would be able to try on their pieces from their home, and the idea is to bring the shopping experience straight to their homes. Thank you.
Oh, really, your name is?
Yeah, Carla.
Awesome, thank you very much, Carla. All right, guys, so Vikas is gonna come up and he's gonna do a pitch. This is Vikas' first pitch. It will be a 3-minute pitch because we're doing warm-up pitches now. So let's put our hands together for Vikas.
Thanks, JP. More of a so-called teaser pitch.
Button.
Sure.
That moves it, but make sure you point at that.
Sure.
Okay, you're on.
Hello, everyone. My name is Vikas Gupta. I'm the founder and CEO of Rewards to Pay. And our ask at this point in time is for a $100,000 seed investment for a 5% equity stake in our business. Reward points, or as some people like to call it, loyalty points, are loved and deared by all of us here in Canada. We travel, we shop, we go on vacations, we collect so many points across so many brands. It actually then leads us to an inherent challenge of, how do we collect points in different loyalty programs? How do we track them? What's our, balances in each of these loyalty programs? And the most important question is, how much are those loyalty points worth with respect to dollars, and how do I redeem them? Those are some of the most important questions from a customer standpoint. And I can tell you, even for the most savvy points collectors, it is actually very difficult for how many points they collect and how do they keep that. And some of the statistics that we've collected, it says that in Canada, we have $16 billion worth of reward points that are being unused and are in the customer's wallet. So what do we do? So we have created a points processing platform. And what it does is it's a digital wallet for the customers to not only store their loyalty programs, so you can store all your air miles, air plan, shopper optimum points, everything at one single place. But you can track their balances. You can actually know how much they're worth in actual dollar amounts, and you can actually redeem them as well on that very same platform. So you don't have to go to multiple platforms. We have created an independent valuation system which fairly values those points for you, so you don't have to calculate that for how much it's worth to you, and you can store all that in a digital wallet. We have also created a gateway platform on an open API platform, which also allows e-commerce platform on point of sale platforms to integrate with us. The market size is close to $2.5 billion worth of reward points coming to the market every single year. With 13 million households here in Canada, every one of us have at least 2 or 3 reward programs in every household that we use actively, right? Whether it's coming to filling up gas at the gas stations or doing purchase at a shopper's as a shopper's drug mart. Where we are today is we have evolved from our first launch in April 2017 when we started this journey. We have partnered with OPN as the advisory and mentors for us, and we have pivoted from the older e-commerce platform that we started to now a payments platform. We are still in a pre-revenue stage, but the last couple of weeks when we launched our digital wallet, we have seen some great customer traction on our social media platform. Again, my ask is for a $100,000 seed fund for a 5% equity stake in our business, of which 70% would go into product and marketing and 30% would go into technology stack scalability. Thank you.
Your name is?
My name is Vikas Gupta.
Awesome. Good job, Vikas. You kept it in line too. 3 minutes. Bang on. Nice work. What we'll do is you guys can throw in one quick comment on what you think he can improve on as he continues to build up to his pitch.
I used to travel by via rail. I got a lot of those points, and it's stuck. So hope you could get them out for me.
There's a free option right now, so you just need to. Yeah, you did a good job, Vikas, and you kept it 2 seconds under the 3 minutes, so that's always a good thing. And the only thing that you need to quantify more, or at least I'd like to see more detail on, is the revenue projections and the scale and how you will prevent others from replicating the solution.
There's a real value proposition here. I'm dying to figure out how you evolve into effectively a marketplace for points so that people can buy and sell them as they need them. Okay?
Awesome. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Well, this is it. Thank him. Yeah, big hand. That was a good job, Vikas. So thank you very much, guys, for coming out. So big hand for all the startups. A big hand for the advisors. And we're going to do one quick draw for the ticket that we talked about earlier. So I'll hold it and you get to pick it. Yes. Oh, she's not messing around on this. We probably could use a bigger bowl, but that's okay. All right, I'm going to give you that. All right, so John Verway. John Verway? Johnny, oh, there you are, buddy. Well, there you go. Didn't even see the picture. There you go. Business coach, and you are the new winner.
I wasn't intending to do that. Do you mind retrying it?
That's okay. We can figure something out. That's okay. Yeah, we'll figure something out. Don't worry about it. All right, thank you very much. All right, guys, so we'll see you guys in October. If you guys have any questions, comments, send us an email or look for one of the angels. Thank you very much, guys. Have a brilliant night.